Hello everyone, so for this video, I would like to share about my study entitled The Effect of PowToon's Implementation on Students' Reading Skill in SMPN Negeri 4 Singaraja. So if you're curious what will this study is talking about, don't worry because we will jump into the first topic, which is the introduction. So here is the background of the study. Language is an important thing in our life because we can use it to communicate and have interactions with others. According to Gunantar in 2016, English is the most commonly used and taught language in schools. In countries where English is not the primary language, English is taught in schools and universities. This is happening because we require English in almost every aspects in our lives. In terms of learning English, there are 4 basic skills that we need to master. They are reading, listening, speaking, and writing. All of those basic skills are very important for the students to learn. And according to Ismail and Basuki in 2017, reading skill is one of the essential English primary skills. Reading skills are vital because it can help the learners to enhance their vocabulary, knowledge, and also other essential skills. In addition, reading skills can be hard to have because we need to understand the meaning behind the text or literary work that we read. Sadiku in 2015 believed that nowadays many learners and teachers are not interested in learning English as foreign language, or even they're learning the language, but they do not really learn the primary skills that actually needed for the language. In addition, the intention to comprehend English basic primary skills, especially the reading skills, has been decreased because the existence of TV or television, computers, and any electronic devices. And to prove whether the statement that already being stated correct or not, the writer decided to do a preliminary observation and interview in SMP Negeri 4 Singaraja. And after doing an interview and also observation in 7th grade, the writer know that the school is having an online learning system to teach the students, which is in line with Febrianto in 2020. He believes that nowadays online learning is the best method or approaches that everyone can use, because in online learning we involve technologies, then we can gain so many benefits. Especially, we can get so many information and other knowledge in many sources. But the writer believes that the implementation of online learning, especially in SMP Negeri 4 Singaraja, still have some flaws. So based on the observation and interview, the writer found that the teacher and the learners have to face some problem that make them feel a little bit hard to follow the learning session. And besides that, the students also feel lazy to read because they find it difficult to focus. And the crucial things like internet does not really support the learning process itself. Actually, by implementing the online learning system, there are so many sources, techniques, or methods that we can use to comprehend reading skills even better. But the main problem that common happen is sometimes the teacher cannot choose the suitable media, material, or platform that they can use in online learning. So sometimes it can lead the students into the misunderstanding. And in this case, the writer thinks that implementation of technology in the learning process are important. So the suitable solution for the reading skills problem is by implementing one of the learning platforms called PowToon in the online learning activity. So what is PowToon? According to Simon and Ismail in 2018, PowToon is a web-based application that allows you to create animated presentation with a variety of media sources, graphics, cartoons, and animated pictures. PowToon can give a teacher educational media, and the learners can be inspired to enhance their academic performance. So based on this background, can be identified, there are some problems that the writer finds. So the first one is the students felt less interested in reading activities in the learning process, especially in online learning. They also find it hard to understand what the text is talking about, and they also feel lazy to read because they find it difficult to focus. And based on the identification, the writer states the problems of the study. They are, the first one, is there any influence or effect of implementing PowToon on the students' reading skills? And the second one is, how does the implementation of PowToon in English as a foreign language learning activity influence the students' reading skills? All right, the next one is the research objectives. So there are 2 research objectives. The first one is to examine whether there is an influence or benefits of implementing the PowToon in EFL. And the next one is to know how the implementation of PowToon affects the students' reading skills. Therefore, the writers also provide research significance. Theoretically, the writer hopes or the writer expects that this research will provide more knowledge about the use of PowToons in students' reading skills. And practically, for the teacher, the writer hopes that the teacher can have new inspiration or in terms of a variety of approaches that can be used in emphasizing the students' reading skills, especially in online learning. And for the students, the writer hopes that the students can find a new online platform that can make them excited and interested when they want to comprehend their basic English skills, especially reading skills. All right, the next one is our second section, which is review of related literature. We will start with the theoretical review. We have reading skills that conclude definition of reading skills, a good quality of reading skills, and also teaching reading. The next one is online learning that conclude of definition of online learning and types of online learning. And then the last one, we have PowToon that conclude of definition of PowToon and the advantages and also the disadvantages of PowToon. The next one, we have empirical review, which is the study that related with this topic that already conducted before. So the first is happened in 2018 with the name, the effect of using PowToon on online learning as a foreign language. The second one is happened in 2019 with the title PowToon for teaching English in the second grade. And the next is happened in 2020. And then the last one is happening in 2021. So based on that study that already conducted before, the researcher found that many researchers examined that the effectiveness of PowToon in EFL class. But after finding and listing the empirical review, the writer found a gap in this topic. So that is why, so after find a gap in this topic, so it can be concluded that there is no research that were focused to examine the effectiveness of PowToon to improve students' reading skill. The writer decided to pick this topic because it is important to teach reading skills, and also it is important too for the students to having a good reading skills as an EFL students. All right, next move to the next section, which is the research method. The first one is research design. So actually this research is using the pre-experimental design, where the pre-test and post-test are also included in this research in terms to examine the effectiveness of using PowToon in EFL on students' reading skill in SMP Negeri 4 Singaraja. So the next one is the research setting. So this research is being conducted at SMPN 4 Negeri Singaraja, which is located in Sambangan Village, Sukasada Subdistrict, Buleleng Regency, Bali. There are several reasons why the researcher decided to conduct this research there. So the first is because the school because there is no research about the effectiveness of implementation of PowToons on students' reading skill yet in that school. And then the second reason is because the school is one of the schools that has been conducting online learning, which is in line with the topic that the researcher has. Right. The next one is the subject. Oh, sorry. Right, the subject is because the researcher only get permission to conduct this study in 3 classes. Then the researcher decided to take one of those classes that consists of 32 students. And then the variable for the independent variable is the effect of using PowToon. Meanwhile, the independent variable is students' reading skills. And for the data collection method, in this research, the researcher used a task to collect the data. In this study, the writer or the researcher used 2 kinds of tests. There are pre-test and post-test. The writer used the pre-test to observe the student's reading skill during the basic online learning process, to compare the result of the pre-test with the post-test of the students have already gotten the treatment, since the writer used the before-after experiment. And then the research instrument, the instrument that the researcher used to collect the data is a reading test. According to Tarnodus in 2016, a test is suitable to know whether there is any significant change that affects the way that students gain their knowledge. Typically, a pretest is provided to students at the start of a course to assess their initial knowledge of the measures mentioned in the learning goals, and post-test given is shortly after the course concludes to assess what the students have learned. The next one is the data analysis. So according to Thomson in 2019, descriptive analysis is a method the statistics that summarize the data in order to describe what happened. In the sample, descriptive analysis may also be used to compare samples from different studies. Researchers can also use descriptive analysis to identify samples features that may impact their results. First, the data that already being collected will be analyzed using descriptive analysis, where the researcher using SPSS to find the mean, median, range, and frequency. Then the overall combined progress in the student's academic achievement will be calculated. And then second one, the data will be analyzed statistically by using a parity test to assess whether or not the student's reading skills improved significantly before and after treatment. So if you guys have any question or comments about my study, you can go to the comment box below, and I will appreciate if you give any comments or questions related with my study. And so I think that's all about my study, and thank you for watching and listening to this video, and see you in the next video. Bye.